It's open beta. Only if you, yes, if you order the the deluxe edition. No, I don't have enough stamps yet. I need 75 to build the full thing. It's just a little weird. Like you have to get so close before you. Okay, now we can build it. So we go connect a trail. Let's see how this works. So we go here, here, and there. It's weird that coal is absent even though we're getting an influx of it just because our generators here are fucked. I mean, we have to fix some of these two coal things, I guess. I want to see what, like, the numbers are. Starvation? Oh, right, we're supposed to build. Okay, never mind. We have to build something else first. My child dead? What was she saying? I'm starving. Why is there not enough food? Well, about that. Sue Miller. Spinning dog hair into yarn. Ouch, me finger. These fucking spindles. Mrs. Boss Lady keeps joking I'll fall asleep and get woken by a prince. I don't get it. If a prince came near me, I'd rob him blind, then make him do the bloody spinning. But it's alright. Gonna beat my record today. Strong, nice yarn. Auntie Maple says if I can weave, I can work at her with the mill. Beats freezing in the streets. Family apprenticeships promises a better future for the children of the city. Starvation. Problems in the city. Oh god, look at that thumbnail. Ugh. Stewart, the newest count shows many of our people recently died of starvation. The hollow vacant stares of those succumbing to famine haunt the streets of the city, but there's no tangible unease. There's also a tangible unease of a different kind. Many wonder, will your rules see back the worst nightmares of the past years? People will keep starving to death until hunger is brought down. Deaths worsen relations with everyone, and as a result, trust falls. Let's see. Oh, good. Also, it's getting colder now. Promised ice bloods kept. Research the moss filtration tower. Yep. What does that do? How is it? Moss filtration.
Pro tip: people need to eat.
Squalor significantly decreased. No, they don't. Not in my town. Alright, there we go. Food is stockpiling. Yeah, see, what's a little weird here is... Well, hang on. What if we click on the generator? Disabled, no fuel. Like, this doesn't make sense because we're getting... Are we not getting fuel from this? We should be getting coal deposits, right? Oh, we didn't fucking construct it, dude. Oh my god. How long does it take, honestly? Wow, it takes a while. The end is nigh. Don't worry about it, Chad. I have a secret plan. It's called picking up the scraps and leaving. Alright, we gotta repair this. Alright, we have some coal happening again. I'd plus suggest action. Heat stamps. Steward, we're struggling with heat stamps. A group of ice have come forward with an idea. You should pass durable goods. It let us pursue it, and the city will benefit. They're supposed to want to pass durable goods to solve problems with heat stamps. Durable goods. Okay. What do durable goods do? Oh.
Another squire.
Ready, sir. Ready, sir.
41 months of egg.
Ready to,
Goods production is significantly increased towards progress. So if I propose this, then the other ones will fail, right? What happens if you have to pass it for it to succeed? You can't just like propose it and then be like, oh, I don't know, it would fail. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, Nemesis. You got excited about new pans today? Oh, I bought some pans from Costco the other day. It's great. Refilling that Teflon. Time to starve. You convinced me. More food for me when I get out of this. People are going, you have killed Frostpunk on Twitter? Oh, really? It's actually being badly received? I'm enjoying this. It's definitely different, though. It's definitely different. You ditched Teflon for your purchase? Oh, what do you mean? No, there's no reviews here. It's definitely different. Like I said, if you're, I think for sure, if you're, I mean, it still has Frostpunk elements, but if you're just looking for the first game, but just more expanded, I think you'll probably not like it as much. Because it's not just the first game. Like, they've definitely expanded some things, they've added a bunch of stuff, but they also, like, went in a different direction. Like, there's just straight up not nearly as much micro, you know what I mean? Half brother, thanks for the 41, dude. Appreciate you a lot. Welcome back. I think it's good, though. I think it's been pretty fun so far. Technocrat suggests action. Stuart, we need more able-bodied workers. Members of the Technocrat community says they have a solution to the problem. There's also a lot more dealing with people and factions and moral decisions in this one than there are in the first one. Like, they've definitely leaned more heavily in that direction for sure. The replies, let's see. Frostpunk 2 beta is now live. Let's fucking go. This game seems pretty cool, says Dan. The game is low-key a rip-off for $70. The previous capped at 300 weeks. Bold defeat. Assume my quality will survive their own. Absolutely amazing after 2 hours. I'm not seeing the rampant hate yet, at least. You have killed Frostpunk, says one guy. I'm scared to click this show offensive replies because there's porn bots and stuff. It's literally fucking 18 plus in bio. I see one negative response. I don't know. Brave, yeah, I probably shouldn't be checking replies, period. That is scary. I don't know. There was like 2 negative guys there. There's 100% going to be people that don't like it, though. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you right now, Chet. It's got Frostpunk vibe, but it is definitely a different direction of the game. And some people are not going to like that because they just wanted Frostpunk 1, but bigger. And it's not Frostpunk 1 anymore. It's a new Frostpunk, straight up. A new Frostpunk with a lot of familiar Frostpunk 1 things. It's more political city than... Now, I would say... I'm just trying to remember the previous one. There's probably equal amounts of building. It's just that the kind of building you do is more macro scale than like minor micro scale. You still build a lot of the same buildings, and a lot of the same shit is still here. But there's definitely a lot more like managing your city and the politics in your city than there was in the first one. Stop reading reviews. Feels like they tried to expand it in a way that is much more different than the first. It looks more like overview than management. What do you mean? There's a ton of management in it still. There is a lot of like push and pull though, with like, wah, you did that policy, cancel it and do my policy instead. Which, like, you have to qualm in different ways with either, well, basically bribing them and shit so far, but You miss the amount of micro in FP1, but then again, it's still beta, so I have kind of mixed feelings. I mean, I liked the micro, right? I like that in building games where it's like, well, you have 10 workers, and both of these buildings need 10 workers, so what are you going to do? Split it 5 and 5, do one or the other, shift them around, but... yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think it's fun. As in, the detail is lost, and it feels more like a generic city builder management than the uniqueness FP1 offered. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, what do you think is... what, because you don't put kids in coal mines? Like, memes aside? Like, what do you think the uniqueness is lost here? I will say that shifting populations around to towns and stuff, I'm whatever with it or without it. There is less control, though, over, like, when you know, enable shifts and when you don't, and when you crank... actually, not even that. I don't know. It's difficult to describe. It's literally just more macro, less micro with some new systems. The devs did say they don't like the same game but bigger sequel, which is probably why there's such a huge difference in design philosophy compared to FP1. Also possible. A lot of the same elements are here in the game, obviously, right? Circular building design, exploring the Frostlands, blah, 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 blah. But what you do from a moment-to-moment basis in the game compared to the first one is definitely... like, I'm finding myself dealing a lot more with policies and people and factions and that kind of stuff, and still dealing with a critical issue of resources, but not building placement, spreading heat maps, making sure sending particular populations to work in particular buildings, like that micro that I was talking about, not dealing with that kind of stuff. And there's a lot more expansion on the skill tree and stuff as well. Oh, I forgot the slide. I was going to show it to you guys, but I have to select this first. Bigger question would be, what is unique about the game now? I mean, it's still Frostpunk, right? With declining temperatures, prepping for the declining temperatures, etc. To get its heart, it's still Frostpunk. I think part of that is the whole Frostpunk thing was keep people warm. I've literally lost like 2,000 people to freezing to death. Now, if you're saying the heat map thing, yeah, the heat map thing's gone. All buildings are just warm now. Like all like industrial buildings and stuff. That part, yeah, I'm a little torn on. I don't know if I like that or not. Because it was like an essential part to have heat coverage in your territory, but yeah. Only the first game begins a genre of games. Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know. I'm not, like, that's a weird take. Like, what's unique about this game now? Like, I don't know. What's unique about, like, the Vampire Survivors DOC, right? It's still Frostpunk. Like, to make it unique, they would have need to make a completely new game, right? Thoughts on the UI changes? I'm not bothered by the UI now that... Okay, let me select this. I'm not bothered by the UI now that I've gotten used to it and the way it works. But it was definitely a little jarring at first. So, like, I can totally understand how when you guys, some of you come in and you go, oh, God, what's up with the UI? It's so weird. I don't like it. It's so different. Because I was like that at the beginning, too. I was like, oh, this looks weird and different. But, I don't know, like, you get used to it. I don't find it, like, a bad UI. I kind of don't like some of the smaller things on the UI. Like, it's still a little unclear. Like, I don't know why they needed to curve the edge of this menu, right? For, like, the temperature drop. Like, when does it exactly hit? When it reaches the very edge? You know, just, like, weird shit like that. Definitely wish there was a little more detail on some things, for sure. I don't think the UI looks bad. I think it's actually clean. It's fairly clean and organized and shit. So, I don't know what you guys think is bad about it, but it's definitely... The game has so many, like, different new mechanics that it's super overwhelming. Like, it's not an intuitive UI. That's the word. That's the big thing. It's not an intuitive UI as much. Which is why we spent the first like 15 minutes of me opening the game and just reading everything. FP1, there's a scenario with different factions. Well, keep in mind, right? Once again, what we're seeing here is sandbox mode, not story mode. So it's very possible that come sandbox mode, it's going to be... come story mode, that there's going to be a lot more focused on that kind of stuff. Considering they have all the traditionalist progress and other such lines, can you just marginalize and diminish factions? Probably. Yeah, I mean, sure, let's crank a faction. Fuck it, right? The issue is basically if a faction gets pissed, then they... I mean, we had somebody rebel earlier, remember? Now that I think about it. And if they rebel, it just stops output in certain sectors and they could spread to other sectors. And the options you have to deal with that are essentially send police, which we didn't have enough of. Declare a state of emergency, which we couldn't do yet, or negotiate with them or ignore them. But if you ignore them, it just gets worse. So I don't think we have the means to deal with them in a radical manner, yet at least. Okay. Send Lagoon. Trade allows you to send resources between... Trails allow you to send resources between different places in the Frost and are required to operate outposts. To start building a trail, click the button in the lower right corner of the screen. Trails are built in sections. While the construction of each trail is a fixed Frostpunk team requirements, each section will increase the cost of building the trail. Connect a trail by... Okay, we did this already. Once research, you can construct railroads instead of trails to ship more resources. Railroads increase the outpost efficiency and capacity of resource transfer between outposts in a city. But did they say we have to research it? So here's like a trail we have. Stumbled across an abandoned caravan of sledges. Long since picked clean, closer inspection revealed what had been treated with oil. A crude but effective method of waterproofing. Frozen tracks indicate sledges come from the northwest. I see. But like, we can't send people to the glacier, right? Because we don't have any Frostland teams because they're all doing the outpost stuff now. So we'd have to research into that more. Deadman, what's up, brother? Does the type of buildings you build affect the population factions? Yes, because when you do research, so for instance, when you go to your research tree here, everything you research, more or less, actually I think literally everything, okay, almost everything, has like the factions all chime in differently with what they want. So you can research it in a particular manner that will please a certain faction. And obviously has different stats. So there's a lot more, like... There's a lot more, like, ways to go in terms of how you build and what you build in the game and how faction relations change over the first one, for sure. Beeline towards logistics, to have the logistics. Yeah, but there's so many other important things in the meantime. Instead of running out of food coal deposits, yeah, I'm kind of in that position now. Are you sponsored for No Rest for the Wicked? No, I'm just really excited to play it. Very excited to play it. The most limiting factor has honestly been heat stamps. It's been really, really difficult to get heat stamps. Very difficult. And we've lost a few to other stuff that we're going to prioritize in the subsequent playthrough after, but like it's definitely pretty tough to grab. And I suppose that's... wait, worker shifts. Well, you can develop the others' ideas here. No, because they want machine-adjusted shifts. Yeah, see, so like, the forgers wanted weather-adjusted shifts. We did that, it made them happy. And now these guys are pissed about it, so they want the other option. So they're going to do this option, and it's going to piss the other guys off more, but it'll temporarily, like, solve that problem, etc. Oh shit, resource deposit full for these guys. I don't think you can stick to one faction without having it, at least from what I've seen, I don't think you can stick to one faction without having it have, like, disastrous results currently. Just dumping shit in the streets, hurry. We need this. Oh, we don't even have 100 workforce for this. That's 150 heat stamps. Just turn this off. That's already disabled. All factions to be happy with the brothel. We haven't gotten that far yet. This might be the end. What are we at? Oh, we're about to end, actually. Angry forgers grow more radical. Steward, the forgers have grown deeply unhappy with your rule. Community leaders have now openly urged forgers to join the Icebloods, arguing as a part of radical organization they will be better able to protect their interests. If nothing is done to address the situation, many angry forgers will join the Icebloods and push for the faction to take action against you. Hostile relations with forgers will cause them to radicalize and join the Icebloods. I'll convince them radical action is not needed. You have 40 weeks to improve relations with forgers. If you fail, 1,300 will join the Icebloods. Icebloods relations will worsen. Community leaders cannot be allowed to encourage radicalization. Surrenders will join Icebloods immediately. Icebloods and forgers relations will worsen significantly. Encourage the initiative. Icebloods are an effective organization. We should encourage forgers to join. Icebloods relations will only worsen slightly. Get on in there, brothers. So yeah, see, like there we just made a massive shift in faction. I mean, they're technically on the same side, but forgers are only 8% now of my population. But I think this one's done. Promise to the technocrats kept. Wait, so what happens now if we vote on this machine adjusted shifts? Will it? I assume it'll replace the other one that was in direct competition with it, right?
The delegates have spoken. The law takes effect.
Let's see. Which one is it? Machine adjusted shifts. There it is. Yeah, okay, so it basically just replaces the other one. Well, we made it, chat. It's a shame it only goes to 300 days, because clearly we're about to be further successful and not everything was about to come crashing down, but I wonder if you can keep one faction low, make them turbo angry, and just expel them from the city. Probably. Who knows what the future holds, but for now it's time, Steward. You've reached the end of the Utopia Builder preview time limit. We encourage you to dive back into the snowy waste of Frostland, as the preview holds 2 different endings depending on your playthrough and decisions you make. What? We didn't even reach an ending. Get ready for more exploration management factions. Dramatic choices to be made once the game releases July 25th. Damn, it's in July? I thought it was in June. Like mid-June. 300's a little short. I mean, I'm fine with them not allowing, like, a shit ton of things available in the beta, which they restricted a lot. Honestly, it was kind of hard to get, like, a sense of everything, though. Um, 300 is a little short. Like, we barely just started getting out and exploring and shit like that. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll do another run and play this basically all day. But... what do you guys think the Steam review rating is going to be like? I haven't pre-ordered and I can't catch myself basing an opinion on the reviews quite regularly. Hard to say, man. If this... I don't know, dude, because to be fair, also, a lot of what was awesome is the story mode in the game, which I don't know what it's going to be. I think what's going to happen is this game's going to get about a 7 or 8 out of 10 from the general consensus, because I think there's going to be enough people that don't like it because it's not like the first one. Jesus, it's loud again. Because it's not like the first one. But overall, it is a really good game. It kind of reminds... Well, okay, not really. I was going to say it kind of reminds me a bit about, like, Subnautica 2 versus Subnautica 1. But Subnautica 2 just didn't do anything to further the concept of 1 or change anything. Whereas this, like, differs quite a bit while still maintaining its, like, core of the game. It's going to be reviews from the beta after it's not a final product. I mean... on the flip side, though, right, I think if you're like, oh, wow, I really don't like these major things in the game, I don't think a lot of them are going to change in the next 2 months, just for what it's worth. Like, for instance, if you're like, wow, I really liked the micro of, like, populations to different areas, I don't think all of a sudden they're going to change that and it's going to be there. I think this is just the way the game is. I think what will happen from here is probably, like, balance changes and, you know, that kind of stuff. All right? Reminds me of Darkest Dungeon 1 versus 2. Yeah, you know, in some ways, that's actually not a terrible comparison. Darkest Dungeon 2, which I really want to play some more of, and it's getting that crazy new gameplay mode coming, was a lot of fun, but it was so different from the first one that I personally enjoyed the first Darkest Dungeon 2 more, but enjoyed the combat, etc. of the second one a bit more, if that makes sense. But I liked the whole, like, base thing in the first one and getting gold and coming back with loot and stuff rather than, like, one run done kind of deal. So that's not like a terrible analogy at all, terrible comparison, because this is still Frostpunk at its core. It's got the same, like, what's dangerous, it's got the same what do, you still have to manage resources, you still have to deal with, like, moral situations and shit like that, but the like presence and the importance of each one of those factors has either greatly increased or diminished versus the first one. So it really comes down to, like, what did you enjoy about the first one and dislike about the first one, and what did you want to see less of and more of from the first one? And if those align with what the second one is doing, you're going to love this game, right? If they don't, you're probably not going to like this as much, and you're going to be in the camp of, I like the first one more. That's just the reality of what it is, right? I don't feel it's fair to base anything like DD1 versus DD2 off the tiny little fragment we're getting in this game in beta. Yeah, but, like, I mean, Spencer, how much of this game is really going to change, right? How much of the major systems of this game are really going to change in the next 2 months? Like, none, right? So if somebody is, like, unironically miffed that you cannot literally select children and put them in the mine and risk, like, the hilarity that comes with that or the danger that comes with that, then they're not going to like this game. Because I just don't think that is going to be added to the game. That is something that they clearly moved away from, and whoever doesn't like that change is just not going to like it. But like I said, on the flip side, all the stuff that they've developed and added and shit, which is a lot, by the way, like a lot more in-depth than the first game in some ways. If that's the kind of stuff you liked, and you liked the kind of political and social management aspect of it, etc., then this has way more than the first game in that, you know what I mean? Yeah, the daily cycle is gone as well. That's true. I kind of enjoyed that in the first game as well. We have no idea how much the decision trees factor into managing your city. I mean, I guess. I don't think they're going to do anything about microing your city, really. Because, I mean, it's just literally not a feature in the game anymore. Like, being able to assign workers to a building is just not a thing anymore. The daily work cycle is not a thing anymore. There's no, like, extending work cycles for that day and powering the generator at different times of the day and things like that. Again, not a bad or a good thing. It's just different, dude. It's just different. They catch all the choices, but it seems like there's a lot less morally gray choices. That I will agree with Spencer on. It's way too early to tell. I mean, we played such a small segment of the game that a lot of that shit starts to really hit later in the game. At least in the first one it did, right? Like, shit doesn't really hit. Like, we were already getting stressed. Our preview time ended there, which I think is a little short. And shit was, like, really hitting the fan. Like, we were probably about to die. Like, let's be honest, right? Yeah.
No, frankly, that's a skill issue.
I know, Spencer. I did it too, but it's a different vibe than, I don't know, than like doing it like a per building basis. Also, morally gray stuff might be more in story mode. Also true. Yeah, I think anything with like morally gray decisions, stuff like that, I think it's way too early to tell. I think one, in my opinion, things that are fair to give a little more judgment towards, although, you know, Otso is beta and things will change and blah, 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 are just the design and system changes, right? Did you really like assigning workers specifically to buildings and being able to micromanage each building and having like a work day cycle and stuff like that. Because I don't think that's coming back. I think that's gone. So if that's what you really liked about Frostpunk 1, it'll probably influence in a negative way your enjoyment of Frostpunk 2. But the overarching like concept of the game, because some of you are like, oh well, it's new. You know, what's unique about this game now? It's still the same. You're still fighting against the cold. Like the scope of the game is the exact same as the first one. Just what you need to manage and handle is presented differently or done differently now. It has Red Gunner, yeah, for sure.